Nintendo recently held its press event for the Nintendo Switch, and although it showed off a few interesting games and gave us some more answers as to what the Switch can actually do, it left us with a few more questions than we had before, and we gotta say, we were a bit disappointed. Nintendo is a company that's dear to our hearts, so we really want Nintendo's next console generation to be successful, but unfortunately our hearts are clouded with worry right now rather than hope. Here are a few reasons why. Specs. There were none. No mention of graphics cards or anything being used to power all that graphics software used to run the games. It's 2 months before launch and still no mention of the exact specs in the system. Expecting consumers to buy your product through pre-orders before listing the specifications is bad marketing. Sure, there's a good amount of people that are gonna buy this thing anyway with no care towards the technical side, but that doesn't account for all gamers. I, for one, want to know what's in my gaming console before I buy it so that I know that if what I'm paying for is worth it. The only announcement of anything related to the specs was the mention of a 32GB hard drive, and if that's true, that's highly worrisome and confusing. In today's day and age of downloading video games instead of purchasing hard copies, 32GB seems troubling, honestly. That's the size of one single game. I know they had to cut down on size with the new console being a tablet and all, but I think they cut down on one of the most integral components to the system. Not a smart move in our opinion. And the alternative option of adding on extra micro SD cards just sounds unnecessarily complicated. With no clear announcement on the full specs yet, it's got us worried that maybe they aren't that impressive. And for a company that desperately needs to compete with Microsoft and Sony, they need them to be impressive. Games. We might as well copy and paste this one. There were none. Okay, that's exaggerating, but when it comes to launch titles, Zelda is the only one that sticks out, and even Link can't save this console if it fails. With the exception of interesting ports, most of the games announced didn't look exciting, and for a console claiming it has the support of third parties, it looks like not many of those big publishers showed up. The lack of games was the Wii U's biggest downfall, so we'd hate to see Nintendo repeat its mistakes. Battery life. For a console whose biggest gimmick is portability, the 2.5 to 6 hour battery life on the Switch is underwhelming. Yes, we understand no one will probably be gaming for that long with no breaks, but imagine road trips, plane rides, etc. The Switch could come in handy for those situations, but unfortunately it doesn't look like it'll hold up after a while. Motion controls. Nintendo doesn't seem to understand that motion controls are a thing of the past and they will never be the future. Dedicating a tedious amount of their presentation to the motion controls available through the Joy-Con remotes seems disconnected from reality. Talk to any gamer on the street, they're not gonna tell you they can't wait to get their hands on the newest motion control game. One thing that was missing, however, was any mention of VR. Not that we expected it, but we just felt it was notable to point out Nintendo's dedication to motion controls, yet zero mention of VR. It just goes to show how disconnected from the gaming community Nintendo really is. These are our biggest concerns about the direction Nintendo is going with the Switch. Do you have any concerns? What are they? Talk with us in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.